Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's do the whole darn weekend. It's Saturday, February the 2nd is National Groundhog Day.
Ah, you love Groundhog Day.
I do. I watch that movie every year, so I'm going to have to be watching that this weekend. Also, National Heavenly Hash Day and National Tater Tot Day. February the 3rd is National Day the Music Died. That's when Buddy Holly and Richie Valens and those guys died in the plane crash. National Carrot Cake Day, National Missing Persons Day, and National Women Physicians Day. All of those things happening this weekend. Also, there's this thing called the Super Bowl. That's going on this weekend. And I've got a guest joining me this weekend as well, Melanie Warner. She has a book called The Magic Feather Effect, and I'm excited to chat with her about that. So I'm not exactly sure what that means, but we're going to find out. The Magic Feather Effect. It's on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Want a good laugh to start every day? We do, and you can too. Be sure to follow WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com on Facebook. Every morning we send out our Weird Gift of the Day. You don't even have to buy anything. You can just follow our page and laugh at the bizarre real gift items we find and share every morning. And maybe you can share them with your friends who have a good sense of humor too. We have a link to make it easy to find us at WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Time now for surveys and studies and such. An MIT study found that air pollution affects people's happiness. The study actually found that polluted air affects people's cognitive senses and causes them to make irrational decisions.
I could see that.
Yeah, because if you can't breathe well, I mean, nothing else really going to work well either. So that does make a big difference. So air pollution affects your happiness. I think indoor air pollution is a much bigger deal than most people realize, and that's where there's all kinds of gunk going on inside your home. That I remember working with a guy that he talked about how much indoor air pollution there is, and most people don't even realize it. So this is an MIT study. They're smart folks, so I'm going to.
So you've known this? Have we ever had our home checked?
Well, no.
So you know this is an issue.
It's an issue.
We've just done
That's
nothing
why we're
about
all so crazy. No, we've had ducts cleaned and that kind of stuff. That's all part of it. So this is surveys and studies and such. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Cable and dish companies keep jacking up their rates. Join the cable cutting revolution with ChannelSurferTV.com. Watch TV with no monthly fee. Our DVR lets you record shows and pause live TV with no monthly fee. Want to stream movies? We have a device for that too. It works with Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, YouTube, and many other streaming platforms, so you can cut the cable and save a ton of money every month. Learn more at ChannelSurferTV.com. That's ChannelSurferTV.com.
And this is your brain on drugs. One man learned the hard way that mixing live fish and alcohol apparently is not a good idea.
What?
Doctors from the University Medical Center in Rotterdam recently detailed the story of a 28-year-old man from the Netherlands who, after drinking an excessive amount of beer with his friends, started using ecstasy, and then he swallowed a live fish, but it got lodged in his throat. And his friends, inspired by a crude stunt from a TV program, they decided, it's where Steve-O swallowed a live goldfish.
People are so stupid.
They decided to swallow a live fish from a home aquarium. Shortly after that happened, the 28-year-old man, who was not identified in the report, volunteered to swallow another fish, and he would soon find out that one didn't go down quite so well. It was a spiky bronze catfish.
Oh, yeah.
It put up a fight.
Jeez.
The spines and sharp barbs located on his dorsal and pectoral and adipose fins. Anyway.
An idiot.
It didn't slide down very well. He had to go to the hospital, had a surgical procedure to remove the fish, which at that point was already dead, and the spines from this man's throat. Bad idea. I mean, just a bad idea. But you know what? That is what happens when your brain is definitely on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Nick Cannon is temporarily taking over for Wendy Williams while she recuperates from shoulder surgery. So if you turned on the old TV and you said, wait a minute, I think Wendy's done something different with her hair. No, that's not it. It's Nick Cannon. Netflix is begging users, pleading users to stop calling serial killer Ted Bundy hot. Zac Efron was recently cast for a film, and we just had this discussion last night.
We did.
I said, I don't think it's a good idea to glorify some guy that killed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And Zac
Who is
Efron
begging people not to do it?
Netflix. They're saying, would you quit calling Ted Bundy hot? Everybody's calling him hot. And Pete Davidson's back in the news. He is set to star in a semi-autobiographical film directed by Judd Apatow. And it's going to be based on his childhood in Staten Island. And then his father passed away at 9/11. And then he joined SNL at age 20. So he's going to somehow be involved in the story of his life. So it'll be interesting. All of that and much, much more in our show notes at johnandheidishow.com. Your scoop of the day is on the way.
Every day, approximately 23 U.S. military veterans take their own lives. Big Paws Canine Foundation is helping to decrease that number, providing service and companion dogs to our disabled veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Partnering a hero with a specifically trained dog significantly reduces the incidence of suicide, and your support makes all the difference. Find out how you can help our American heroes. Join the pack at BigPawsCanine.com.
Now your scoop of the day, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. A group of Israeli scientists say they've discovered a complete cure for cancer, and they will release it within a year.
Why not release it now?
Yeah, come on. Tell us now. There are people within the next year that are going,
That will
could you
no
please
longer be with us.
Tell me. I don't understand exactly why they would hold that out, but I don't know. If that is not legit, if this is not true, I'm very, very sad. But if it is legit, I'm very, very happy, because that would be, can you imagine curing cancer? How amazing that would be?
Oh, my gosh.
So why are you going to hold on to that for a year, people? An Apple FaceTime bug lets you listen in on people you call, even if they don't pick up the phone. Oops, that's not good.
Oh.
So that could turn out to be a bad thing. Temperatures hit 23 below zero in Chicago on Tuesday night and nearly broke the record of negative 27. So this last week was chilly all over the place. There was actually one community that I thought this was really funny. They said that their police department posted on social media, because of the cold temperatures, it is illegal to break the law tonight. I was like, oh, that's good.
Because they don't want to get out of their cars.
Because of the cold temperatures, all criminal activity must not happen tonight. It's all been canceled, postponed, not doing it. I thought that was
Why not just do that for every night?
Yeah, every night.
Criminal activity is illegal.
Criminal
always.
activity is banned tonight because it's too darn nice out. An Ohio guidance counselor apologized to the court for having sex with a 17-year-old male student in her office. She received a 2-year prison sentence. I just don't get it. We see more and more and more of these. It's just bizarro world. A Florida man was arrested when he stole a bag of opioids, like drugs. Turned out it's not what it was. It was laxatives.
Oh, did he take them?
What a crappy way to find out,
Oh,
if you know what I
my
mean. Boom,
gosh.
boom. I think that's really kind of funny. A group of scientists are testing a shark bite resistant. Again. That's what it is.
That was a Freudian slip.
A shark bite resist. I don't know what I said. A group of scientists are testing a shark bite resistant wetsuit in Australia on Wednesday.
That's a good idea.
It's not a good idea. Who are they putting in there? It's some. Hey, it's the newest scientist. Hey, he's the.
We'll just put a dummy in it and test it. But
drop him in the water with the sharks.
It's a good idea to have one of those.
If it works.
Yeah,
I just don't think it's gonna work. Shark bite resistant. That's hard to say. It's really hard to say.
So as we heard.
Yeah, apparently. And I don't know if anyone's talked about this. I mean, this whole week, it's probably never come up. I mean, not on any program I've heard. There was a thing called the polar vortex. Everybody's been talking about it all week. It brought the feels-like temperature down to negative 75 degrees in parts of the Midwest this week. Holy cow. I thought it was cold where we were. Negative 75? Yeah, we didn't get that cold. So, just crazy. But I do have a cold. Does that count for anything? I cannot wait until all of this stuff is done. Also, we've got a lot of fun stuff to get to. We used to do this thing called dad jokes. We're not doing it no more. We got rid of those. And we have a new thing starting this week. We'll tell you what it is later in the program. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. This has been your Scoop of the Day.
at funkymonkeyshirts.com. We want to remind you it's never too early to start thinking about Valentine's Day. And what says I love you better than awesome, matching fun t-shirts? Get something for your sweetie and for you. We have several his and hers t-shirt designs to choose from at funkymonkeyshirts.com. Let the world know how much you love one another. And wear your heart on your sleeve. Well, at least on your shirt. With a little help from funkymonkeyshirts.com. That's funkymonkeyshirts.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got the author of a new book called The Magic Feather Effect, The Science of Alternative Medicine and the Surprising Power of Belief. Melanie Warner is joining us right now. How you doing, Melanie?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. Excited to chat with you. I've got a copy of this book. I love this cover. There's like a big hot air balloon holding an elephant up in the air. That's kind of an eye-catching image. So let's talk a little bit about the book and the concept and where this came from.
Yeah, I was really interested in trying to understand what the truth was about this polarized debate that we seem to have about alternative medicine. On one hand, you have people that are the true believers that make really big claims, and on the other hand are skeptics that say it's all a bunch of nonsense and people are wasting their money and their time. And I wanted to look at the science and look at, could these things really be helping people in some instances for some conditions, and I found that, in fact, that they are.
Now, this is not your first book. I see on here you're also the author of Pandora's Lunchbox. How many different books do you have out?
This is the second, so just two at this point.
And this are they kind of similar topics, or, you know, if I read the one, do I kind of want to read the other, or they are completely separate from each other?
I mean, they're both tackling different aspects of human health. So Pandora's Lunchbox is about food and food science and food processing and the way that food has changed over the last 100 years, in some positive ways, but a lot of really negative ways, and the effect that can have on our health. And this is about solutions that people search for when they get sick. You know, we all get sick at some point in time, and especially for chronic conditions and chronic diseases that modern medicine doesn't always have a lot of really clear answers for. They don't have the solutions where we can take a magic pill and things are going to go away. So a lot of people are looking for other types of treatments and other what you could call alternative medicine.
Very nice. So the name, The Magic Feather Effect, why is it called that particular thing?
That's a metaphor for the placebo effect. And it comes, if people remember the story of Dumbo, he was able to fly because he had a magic feather, or it's really what he thought was a magic feather. It was just an ordinary crow's feather. But it's a metaphor for belief. He believed it was a magic feather, and he was able to fly.
Ah, and that's why you got Dumbo on the cover then. I get it.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It's about the way the shifting of our beliefs can do amazing things for us.
So now, let's talk a little bit about your background. What did you do before the two books here? Have you been a journalist, or what have you done before?
Yeah, I've been a journalist for about 15 to 20 years. I started out as a business journalist covering business, and then I got into writing about the food industry, and from there I kind of became a science writer.
That's really cool. Very, very cool. Well, the new book, The Magic Feather Effect, has been out for just a short while here, but I'm already reading some very high praise, so there's people that are reading this and are just absolutely loving the book, so that's got to make you feel really good.
Sure, yeah. Well, I think it's a fascinating story, and I actually worked on it for 3 years. And I was amazed that I never grew tired of the subject. I still found it amazingly fascinating.
So what would you say if there's maybe just one thing that we're going to learn in the book that we could talk about that maybe was the most surprising thing when it came to the placebo effect or the magic feather effect? Is there one thing that really just kind of shocked you as you were working on this?
I think it's shocking that it's a real biological effect. And so it's not just about people believing that they're going to be healed or willing themselves to be healed. It's actually something that is innate in our brains. Where we have the power to block pain and to shift other symptoms as well. But pain has been the most heavily studied one. And this is a neurobiological effect, and it involves neurotransmitters like endorphins. And so it's just something that's inborn to us. And researchers don't quite understand why and how that developed evolutionarily. But it's a very real effect, and people didn't used to think that was the case.
And I appreciate you taking some time to chat with us here. I think it's a fascinating topic, and I think there's probably others listening that will think that too. The book is called The Magic Feather Effect, The Science of Alternative Medicine and Surprising Power of Belief. The author of that book, Melanie Warner, has been our guest today. Melanie, thank you so much for taking the time to visit.
Thank you so much.
Again, our guest today is Melanie Warner, and the book is called The Magic Feather Effect. It's available right now. We will throw a link in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
Cable and dish companies keep jacking up their rates. Join the cable cutting revolution with ChannelSurferTV.com. Watch TV with no monthly fee. Our DVR lets you record shows and pause live TV with no monthly fee. Want to stream movies? We have a device for that too. It works with Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, YouTube, and many other streaming platforms, so you can cut the cable and save a ton of money every month. Learn more at ChannelSurferTV.com. That's ChannelSurferTV.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
There are amazing flowers that look like lips. There's a flower in the rainforest in Central and South America that resembles a puckering mouth covered in lipstick.
Really?
A little kissy lip.
I would like to see those.
I really wish that it would say what they're called, because I'd like to Google it, but I'm about afraid to Google any of that. So, just really concerned of what would pop up.
You never know.
Yeah, probably not. This has been another fun fact on the John and Heidi Show.
At FunkyMonkeyShirts.com, we want to remind you it's never too early to start thinking about Valentine's Day and what says I love you better than awesome matching fun t-shirts. Get something for your sweetie and for you. We have several his and hers t-shirt designs to choose from at FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Let the world know how much you love one another and wear your heart on your sleeve. Well, at least on your shirt. With a little help from FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. That's FunkyMonkeyShirts.com.
Time now for Fear This, fun with phobias. Ambulophobia. What do you think that is? AMBULOPHOBIA. Ambulophobia. Ambulophobia.
The fear of emergency vehicles?
No.
Oh.
Fear of walking. Ambulophobia. Yeah. I don't know what that is. How do you? A lot of these fears don't make no sense to me.
No.
I just don't get it.
No.
How are you afraid of walking? Anyway.
Well, I don't understand how they got that word.
Ambulophobia? I don't know. From the root word ambu. I
don't know.
That's going to do it for
that one. I don't get. Sometimes
Fear
I can
This.
figure them out. That one I don't know.
Yeah. Fun with phobias.
Want a good laugh to start every day? We do, and you can too. Be sure to follow WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com on Facebook. Every morning we send out our Weird Gift of the Day. You don't even have to buy anything. You can just follow our page and laugh at the bizarre real gift items we find and share every morning. And maybe you can share them with your friends who have a good sense of humor too. We have a link to make it easy to find us at WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, and there's a giant Jenga on the weird gift thing today. That's kind of interesting. That is a weird gift. Our weird news, though, an unhinged woman was kicked off a recent United Airlines flight after going ridiculously crazy and fat-shaming the seatmates. I showed Heidi this video. The video made me very upset. The video starts out with a lady, she's talking on her phone, and she was being very rude to the people on both sides of her. So the lady that was on her left started recording, and it was just kind of pointed at the floor, and then she kind of pointed it to her, and she was like, yeah, I can't even breathe. I mean, these people are huge, and I'm stuck in between
you were
them.
telling me
and
about
she was
this.
being just
I didn't
so
watch it.
rude. Now, I got to say, she referred to them on either side of her as two big pigs, and then she said, oh, my goodness, I don't know how I'm going to do this for the next 4 hours. And she was talking in her cell phone, and then she started, she said, it's just impossible because they're squishing me, just like unbelievably.
So who was taping
But at least
this
they'll
woman?
keep me warm, she says. One of the ladies, the lady that was sitting next to her, one of the people she was talking about, started recording her. And then she kept saying, I have a salad. You know, I eat salad. Going to just say, you didn't look too petite yourself. Now, you got to understand, I'm not trying to fat shame the woman. I'm just saying, you don't treat somebody that way, period. No matter what your body shape is. You don't treat anybody, that's not nice.
No.
And if there were other open seats on the plane, there's a nice way to say, hey, can I sit in another seat? Instead of saying, these two big pigs on each side of me.
Horrible
Whoa.
woman.
It was just ridiculous. If you've not seen the video, I have a link to it in the Weird News section of the show notes today at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. A man who jumped into a Florida zoo's crocodile enclosure has been sentenced to a year in jail. 23-year-old Brandon Keith Hetfield He pleaded no contest. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? No contest.
I don't know.
You're right. No contest. You are the dummy.
Yeah, I don't know.
What that means. Trespassing, criminal mischief. He broke into this alligator farm zoological park November the 5th. I think we talked about it back when that happened. Caused over $5,000 in damage.
Holy cow.
At the 125-year-old attraction. He jumped in the water in the Nile crocodile exhibit. Video shows a crocodile biting him on the leg.
Oh, yeah, I think we did talk about
And
this
then he
one.
left blood and bloody clothing behind. And among there was a pair of Crocs. That's kind of ironic. He was arrested the following day after people reported seeing him crawling in his underwear across a neighborhood lawn. So,
Jeez.
yeah, just a bizarre story, but he finally got to go to court, and he gets to go to jail for a while. For a year in jail. No crocodiles there, though, buddy. Sorry. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. This is your moment of duh.
Every day, approximately 23 U.S. military veterans take their own lives. Big Paws Canine Foundation is helping to decrease that number, providing service and companion dogs to our disabled veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Partnering a hero with a specifically trained dog significantly reduces the incidence of suicide, and your support makes all the difference. Find out how you can help our American heroes. Join the pack at BigPawsCanine.com.
Time now for your dad joke of the day. Just kidding. There's no more dad jokes. Are you going to miss them?
No.
Me neither. We've got a new feature, and we're trying it out today. It's called These Three Things. Heidi, you're going to try to guess. What do these three things have in common?
All right.
These three things. Beach, base, billiard. What do these three things have in common?
They're all balls.
Yes.
John.
Beach ball, baseball, billiard ball. That is what these three things have in common. Good job, Heidi.
Thank you.
She's really good. These three things. It's a new feature right here on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Now, we always like to wrap things up here with good news, and I think this is pretty darn good news. An unnamed Good Samaritan. When I say unnamed, they named this person, I'm sure, but we just don't know who the person is. An unnamed Good Samaritan did something really, really nice.
Okay.
During this polar vortex, during the, this last
the
week.
cold weather, yeah.
A Good Samaritan paid for hotel rooms to house 70 homeless people.
Oh.
I think that is awesome. So, it was freezing cold outside, and it was, bitter temperatures that could very
That's
easily have
amazing.
taken someone's life. A Good Samaritan whose name is not published, and I think that the person wants to remain anonymous, they paid for 70 hotel rooms to let people stay inside.
That's amazing.
I think that's really, really cool.
I was praying for the homeless, so I wonder if that was in response to
Probably
I
was.
prayed that they get a warm place to sleep, so maybe
Well, there
this
you go.
was a
It all worked out, Heidi.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
So, no, I do
so
really think...
you can all thank me as well.
And you're modest as well. Nice.
What can I say? My God is an awesome God.
Yeah, I do agree with that. But I think that's really cool. And I was looking at a story online, and there are people arguing about this. How do you argue about this?
Why would you argue about this?
Because somebody said it's a good Christian thing to do, and then they got in a big argument going, no, it's not only Christians that are good. Okay, that's not what the person was saying. They're not saying that
Wow.
only Christians would do that, but they said this is a
It's
good Christian thing
Christ-like.
to do.
That's what they were saying.
But then, people were attacking, saying nobody knows if this person was a Christian or not a Christian.
Oh, my
All they were
gosh,
saying
let
is,
it
"That's
go."
not what they said. So anyway, turned into a big old, anything online turns into a giant mess these days. You can't say nothing online without it turning into a big mess.
No, you can't.
And I just used a double negative on purpose. That upset some people. I was just testing you.
That's why I closely screen my friends.
Yeah, she doesn't even have me as a friend anymore. She seriously don't. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.